Max Holloway has officially broken his silence following his bout with Conor at UFC 329. After the event, Max took to social media to share a respectful and heartfelt message, thanking everyone who supported him throughout the journey. He wrote, "Not the outcome we wanted, but God's plan is always the right. Thank you, Conor, for the fight. It took a lot to make that walk after these past few years. Sending prayers for a speedy recovery. Shout out to my family, team, friends, and Blessed Express supporters for all the love. What a life we live. See you at the next one." Despite the unfortunate ending, Max made it clear that he still wants to run the fight back. He explained that he spent months preparing for this opportunity and even moved up to the welterweight division at 170 pounds to make the matchup happen. Because of that, he feels all of the hard work should not end with an injury and believes the rivalry deserves a proper conclusion inside the octagon. Max also revealed that one of the biggest reasons he accepted the fight was to experience Conor's power firsthand. Throughout fight week, Conor spoke confidently about his striking and knockout ability, but the early injury prevented fans and Max from seeing how the fight would have unfolded. As a result, Holloway believes there is still unfinished business between them. For now, all eyes remain on Conor and what decision he makes after recovering from his injury. Fans are hoping he provides an update soon instead of keeping everyone waiting, especially after all the discussion surrounding his physical condition leading into the fight and the unfortunate ending that followed. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Dustin Poirier has shared his honest reaction to Conor's devastating injury at UFC 329, offering his thoughts on everything from the opening moments of the fight to what the future could hold for the former champ. One of the biggest things that stood out to Poirier was Conor's decision to begin the fight with an explosive jumping kick. According to him, it was a confusing strategy, especially after such a long layoff from competition. Poirier admitted that adrenaline and excitement may have influenced Conor's decision after spending years away from the octagon. Even so, he questioned why anyone would choose to start a 25-minute fight with such a risky technique. He said he could not understand whether it was part of the game plan or simply a decision made in the heat of the moment. But either way, it seemed like an unnecessary gamble. He also discussed the injury itself, explaining that it is difficult to know exactly when the damage occurred. While some people believe Conor may have entered the fight already dealing with an injury, Poirier pointed out that it would make little sense for someone who knew they were hurt to immediately throw a jumping attack and land awkwardly on one leg. Another topic Poirier addressed was Conor's physical appearance leading into the fight. He felt that Conor looked fit overall, but believed his face appeared swollen and less healthy than usual. In his opinion, those signs may have reflected an unhealthy lifestyle rather than simply carrying extra weight. He explained that when athletes fail to maintain healthy habits, their bodies become more vulnerable to injuries, making it harder to perform at the highest level. Looking ahead, Poirier questioned whether another comeback is realistic if the injury turns out to be a torn ACL. He explained that such an injury could require another full year of recovery, and at Conor's stage of his career, returning at the same level becomes increasingly difficult. Poirier also believes repeated comeback attempts may eventually lose their impact with fans, especially after multiple setbacks and long absences from competition. He added that he would rather see Conor preserve the legacy he has already built instead of returning only for spectacle or exhibition-style appearances. According to Poirier, that is not what true competition represents. He also expressed hope that Conor stays focused on his personal life and long-term well-being outside the cage. Finally, Poirier returned to the opening sequence of the fight, saying he still cannot understand why Conor chose such an aggressive technique right from the start. He noted that footage had surfaced showing Conor practicing the move in training camp, suggesting it was planned well in advance. Even with that explanation, Poirier still believes opening a championship fight with a high-risk attack was a decision that ultimately made very little sense. Moving on to another news, Luke Riley has finally responded to the criticism surrounding his UFC 329 victory, especially after Joe Rogan questioned the referee's decision during the live broadcast. For those who missed the fight, Riley delivered an impressive first-round performance against Kai Kamaka III, overwhelming him with a relentless combination of strikes before securing a TKO victory. While the win added another highlight to Riley's career, the referee's stoppage quickly became one of the biggest talking points of the event. Shortly after the fight ended, several members of the MMA community argued that the contest had been stopped too early. Among the most notable voices was Joe Rogan, who made it clear during the broadcast that he was not a fan of the stoppage. Other UFC fighters also shared similar opinions, believing Kai Kamaka III deserved a little more time to defend himself and continue fighting. Matt Frevola was one of the fighters who commented on the situation, saying he would have preferred to see Kamaka given the opportunity to go out on his shield rather than having the referee step in so quickly. During a recent interview, Riley was asked directly about those comments and whether he believed the referee had acted too soon. Riley made it clear that he completely disagreed with the criticism. He explained that, from his perspective inside the cage, the fight was essentially over after he landed the decisive right hand. According to him, Kai Kamaka III was no longer in a position to intelligently defend himself, and only a couple more seconds would have resulted in him falling face first onto the canvas. Riley admitted that he was genuinely surprised by the amount of backlash the stoppage received. He said he found it difficult to understand why so many people viewed the referee's decision as controversial. In his opinion, the official stepped in at exactly the right moment to protect his opponent from unnecessary damage. Riley even added that anyone who truly believes the stoppage was premature may not fully understand the realities of professional fight. While the debate continues among fans and analysts, Riley remains completely confident that the referee made the correct decision and has no doubts about how the fight was finished. Moving on to another news, huge concerns are now surrounding Conor's UFC future after the shocking events at UFC 329. The biggest superstar in mixed martial arts delivered one of the most unexpected moments of the year, but unfortunately, it was not for the reasons fans had hoped. Throughout the entire fight, it became obvious once again that no fighter in the UFC commands attention quite like Conor. Every media event, press conference, and public appearance drew massive crowds, proving that his star power is still unmatched. However, everything changed the moment the fight officially began. Heading into the matchup, the biggest concern for many fans and analysts was whether Conor's body could still handle the demands of elite competition after spending so much time away from the octagon. Sadly, those fears appeared to become reality almost immediately. Reports indicate that on the very first kick he threw, he suffered a devastating ACL injury. Such an injury is expected to require surgery, followed by a lengthy rehabilitation process that could keep him out of action for close to a full year. That situation has now created serious doubts about whether Conor is willing to endure another difficult recovery. At this stage of his career, coming back from another major injury is an enormous challenge, both physically and mentally. Many people are now wondering if he still has the motivation to dedicate himself to months of rehabilitation, training, and preparation just to make another return to the UFC. Daniel Cormier also shared his thoughts on the situation, admitting that he is not convinced another comeback is guaranteed. According to DC, the entire fight week reminded everyone that Conor remains the biggest attraction in the sport, but he questioned whether this latest setback could finally be the one that changes everything. He explained that if he had to make an honest prediction, he would lean more toward Conor not making another return than successfully fighting again. Cormier also pointed out another major concern. Even if Conor does complete the recovery and eventually steps back into the octagon, there is no guarantee that fans will embrace another comeback story with the same excitement they once did. Multiple injuries, long layoffs, and repeated return announcements may eventually reduce the anticipation that once surrounded every appearance. Despite all of that, UFC 329 still delivered an incredible event. Even though Conor's heartbreaking injury became the biggest talking point of the entire weekend and left the future of one of the sport's biggest icons surrounded by uncertainty. Moving on to another news, Dominick Cruz recently shared a powerful perspective on Conor's return to the UFC, suggesting that the comeback was about much more than money or another title run. According to Cruz, many people believe Conor had no financial reason to fight again because he has already earned more than enough throughout his career. However, Cruz completely disagrees with that way of thinking. He explained that, in his opinion, Conor's decision to return was actually an attempt to save himself from the lifestyle that came with his success. Cruz believes the issue was never about making more money, but rather escaping the distractions and habits that wealth can sometimes create. He said martial arts often give fighters structure, discipline, and purpose, and losing that can leave a difficult void to fill. Cruz also reflected on the challenges Conor now faces after suffering another major setback. He believes life has a way of presenting the same lessons repeatedly until someone chooses a different path. In his view, fighting alone cannot solve every personal struggle, and eventually, every athlete has to confront those battles away from competition. Drawing from his own experience, Cruz said martial arts completely changed his life and gave him direction when he needed it most. That personal journey is why he believes Conor's return was driven by something much deeper than public attention or financial reward. Unfortunately, with the latest injury ending his comeback, Cruz feels Conor has once again been placed in the same position he was in before accepting the fight, forcing him to face those same challenges all over again. Moving on to another news, Dustin Poirier has revealed that he would be willing to make another return to the UFC for one specific reason, and that is a fourth fight with Conor. During a recent interview, Poirier was asked whether he would ever consider stepping back into the octagon if Conor eventually recovers from his injury and decides to fight again. His response left little room for doubt. Poirier said that once Conor is fully healed, he would gladly accept the opportunity to face him again. He confidently stated that he would come back just to defeat Conor one more time, making it clear that the rivalry still still interests him. When asked if a fourth fight could realistically happen, Poirier responded positively and repeated that he would return specifically for that matchup. He also mentioned that he would even be willing to compete at 170 pounds, adding that he does not believe Conor would actually want that fight under those circumstances. The comments were delivered with plenty of confidence and showed that Poirier still believes he has the upper hand if they ever share the cage again. The conversation then shifted toward Michael Chandler, with jokes being made about how Chandler would probably be frustrated after hearing Poirier express interest in fighting Conor instead. The lighthearted exchange continued before the discussion moved to the idea of a possible slap fighting contest between the two longtime rivals. Poirier quickly dismissed that suggestion, explaining that he prefers real sports and has no interest in competing in slap fight. However, after a bit more laughter during the interview, he admitted that the idea of slapping Conor certainly sounded entertaining. Even with the jokes, Poirier made it clear that if he returns, his focus would be on a real fight inside the octagon, rather than any exhibition-style contest. Moving on to another news, Aspinall has provided another update on his UFC return, and it sounds like he is more than ready to get back inside the octagon. Following the recent UFC White House event, where Ciryl Gane earned a victory over Alex Pereira in a finish that sparked plenty of debate among fans, the heavyweight title picture appears to be much clearer. While many people questioned how the fight ended, the official result still stands, and Ciryl Gane walked away with the win. Because of that, all signs now point toward the UFC exploring a rematch between Aspinall and Ciryl Gane. Not long after the event, Aspinall reacted to the outcome and revealed that he had already informed the UFC that he would be ready to answer Gane's call-out at UFC Paris later this September. However, with rumors continuing to grow about UFC 331 potentially taking place in Los Angeles during the same month, the situation has become much more complicated. Holding multiple major pay-per-view events in September, along with Noche UFC, seems unlikely, which could mean the Paris event is no longer the expected destination for the heavyweight rematch. In a recent video shared with fans, Aspinall offered another positive update on his recovery and confirmed that his team has already notified the UFC that he is fully prepared to compete whenever the promotion decides to schedule the fight. He explained that they told the UFC they are available for Paris, Los Angeles, or any other location the promotion prefers. According to Aspinall, the only thing left to do now is wait for the official call while he continues training at full intensity and staying ready for the opportunity. With Aspinall back in the gym and sounding confident, many fans are hoping the former interim champion returns soon and competes at 100%. At the same time, another topic continues to generate attention behind the scenes, and that is his UFC contract. This discussion became much bigger after boxing promoter Eddie Hearn claimed that Aspinall was being paid far below what he deserved. Hearn argued that the UFC was undervaluing one of its biggest heavyweight stars and even suggested that he would not allow Aspinall to fight under those financial terms. According to his comments, negotiations for a significantly improved contract have been taking place, although no official details have been confirmed. Whether Aspinall has already secured a new agreement remains unknown, but it is expected that reporters will ask him about the situation the next time he speaks publicly. Meanwhile, former fighter Josh Hokit also weighed in on the debate through social media. He questioned whether Eddie Hearn was asking for a massive $25 million per fight and argued that if those demands were accurate, then simply saying a fighter is ready to compete does not necessarily move negotiations forward. Hokit suggested that public statements could be part of a strategy to increase pressure on the UFC while making the promotion appear responsible if the matchup is delayed.